my buddy Adam LZ had bought this place we call the Compound, and there's no better way to describe it. It is a compound of buildings and roads and concrete, and him and a bunch of friends got together and bought all similar cars to drive together and thrash there after he did some improvements. Now, we decided to head out there and hang out and drive with my car, but with the intention of maybe impulse buying a new car. This is the make and model of car I've wanted to buy again for a long time, but also a type of car that I've wanted to buy again for a long time. So we're going to go there, and if there's any real excuse, we're probably going to impulse buy a car and drive it. All right, well, we're here at the LZ compound. This thing's sick. I didn't even realize this was a different car. That's pretty wild.
Race car shit.
This is like real race car. Wow. What's wrong with your car?
Having some overheating issues.
Oh, yeah.
Of course. Like, last night we had to replace a trans, so I popped that out.
Oh, God.
And now all of a sudden it's overheating.
I started recording right at the wrong time.
Of course. You have to do it like 20 times every time.
Hold on, can you do that over? I need a clip. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. No, don't do it again. That sounds terrible. So after hanging out with everyone, I was fairly confident I was going to be sold just watching them drive, but then Adam told me to go take a couple laps in his car, knowing that if I did any sort of laps in one of these cars, I would be sold. And even with the torrential rain, it was still an absolute blast. I didn't expect to get an E36 as this kind of car. I felt like they just were a little too underpowered, but after driving his, I went on the mission to try to buy someone's car. Now, Samet had already left to go back to Japan, so his car was just sitting there. So Rudnick had taken it out to drive it, and I decided to do a couple laps and see if this was the one I wanted to buy. And I was pretty sold, but then my buddy Chelsea offered me a proposal. His car, he wrecked during this week of driving with everybody, and he didn't feel like fixing it. It was still on his trailer, so he was kind of down to impulse sell it. I was down to impulse buy it, so I decided to do so. We wrapped up the night at the LZ compound, had an absolute blast hanging out with everyone, driving, playing the sim, just good times with good friends, and then we hit the road in the morning to start heading our way back over there to go look at this car. All right, well, we are on our way back to the LZ compound. We were here yesterday. If you're unfamiliar with what the LZ compound is, it's Adam LZ. He's a fellow car YouTuber who I've known for closing in on a decade now. He's a good friend of mine. He bought this compound probably about 2 years ago, and that is the best way to describe it. I mean, it is a compound. There's multiple buildings, there's a ton of concrete, and as it was already drivable. You could, drift on it, grip drive on it, do those kinds of things. But he slowly added and added and added to it to make it better and better and better and make more layouts. So recently he did a bunch of additions, and to kind of test them out, a bunch of people bought all the same car so they could all just thrash and drive together and have a good time. So regardless of the car breaking or not, I was considering impulse buying someone's E36 if they would sell it to me. So Samet was considering selling his, so I managed to go do some laps in it and feel it out, and the car felt really good. And it was an absolute blast. It was such a throwback for me. There is nothing like tandeming in missile cars and drift cars that you don't care about body-wise. You've got to be careful to not destroy it so you don't have to work on it. But driving like that is the most freeing thing in drifting. If you're driving with someone else who's in the same boat with their car, you can just absolutely push the limits, and it is the most fun. And cars like this, you can just go lap after lap. They don't kill tires. They don't overheat. It's amazing. And I was sold. I was like, I need another one. I haven't had a missile car since back in the day when me, Matt, and Adam all had 350Zs and would drive together all the time. And I progressed so much as a driver during that time period because we were driving together so much, pushing the limit. So moral of the story is, impulse buy. I decided to buy one of these cars. Now I'm going to buy Chelsea's. It's really well set up. It's got a bunch of good bits on it. We'll go through it. But we've got to fix it. Now, fortunately, at the compound where we're going to be driving it, assuming we fix it, is Drift HQ, which has all the parts we need to fix it. So we're going to go buy some stuff from Drift HQ, fix the car, and hopefully thrash it all day long. So it should be a really good time and a fun adventure, assuming we can get this car back together. I'm excited to check it out. I've never even seen it in person, but Chelsea dropped it off at the compound, and we're on our way there now to check it out, fix it, drive it, hopefully. So that being said, I'm going to get back to driving, and we'll see this car here soon. All right, this is the new rig. Chelsea, give us the rundown.
The rundown?
I don't even know. Give me the rundown. Walk around
Walk
it.
around
Point at
okay.
things.
So,
You like pointing at things.
391, newer axles, I don't know, subframe bushings, rear trailing arm bushings.
Oh, wow. I didn't even know that. See, I don't even
new
know
drive
anything.
shaft, big cage,
That is a
back
big
mounts, aluminum seat mounts.
Oh, those are baller.
Yeah, this thing's got a lot of baller stuff.
Dang. Those are fancy.
It has this Link standalone plug and play. It's got wakeboard tower speakers and an amp in the trunk.
I know. How do you hook up to that?
So there's
Is it like a Bluetooth amp?
There is, but the Bluetooth piece is gone. So
Okay.
you have to plug straight in with like an
Okay.
adapter to your phone.
Okay.
Spa mirrors,
Oh, fancy. Dang.
quick tuning kit,
Yeah, I didn't even know that was a thing.
cut knuckles. It was turbo and made like almost 500, and I turned it back to NA for this event. So now you have the biggest injector, biggest everything for NA.
NA motor.
I crashed it into Adam.
Yeah, Chelsea crashed
Fixing
it.
that. VCs, OBD2 headers, new ISR exhaust. The motor's got ARP studs and copper cut ring set up. So obviously it was making big power.
Oh, damn. I didn't know it was cut ring.
Yeah, metric mechanic valve springs and some other shit in the head.
Dang, so I might have to throw a turbo on it. Is this metal? No,
No.
plastic. Why does it look metal?
That's quick.
I was like, I don't think they
Somebody
make those in
painted it
metal.
black.
Oh, true.
But the ISR goes right to the header too, which is cool.
Oh, yeah, that's nice. Full exhaust.
Yeah, full exhaust.
Knowing that it's your car is probably not too loud.
Ew.
Upside down M3.
Yeah,
I
ew.
like it.
Kevlar, sunroof delete.
Oh,
That leaks, by the way.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna silicone it.
You're gonna have to seal that. I just found out that it leaked. To open this, you just pull this out, and there's a magnet holding it.
Oh, that's clever, honestly.
But you could probably do it if you put that bolt back in there.
That's pretty clever, dude.
This car turned into a Saab story, so we put a Saab wing on it.
I like it.
No, it was already on there. I think this is the kid that owned it before me. Because I had this at E-Town and drove a bunch of events with it turbo and had fun, and then brought it to Florida when I moved down here.
Oh, yeah, this picture there again.
Yeah, I didn't do anything to this car.
That's funny.
Anything that's like, wait, why does that have a neat shift boot? Like,
Right.
clearly that's not me.
Yeah.
You'll see.
That's definitely not your
You'll
style.
keep going through it. But it's Club Loose legal, so Halo, Cage, all the stuff is done already.
True.
So it's a great car. I mean, I did probably 200 plus laps in the last few days, and it never went over 197. Never gave any hiccups until I smashed at him.
Yeah, so that's perfect.
Yeah, used to have wastegate dump here.
I know, that's beautiful. I'm going to have to fight the urge to not put a turbo back on it.
No, but you should. It's already got an oil pan.
But
done.
then...
Here's your coolant and oil lines. They're just
Oh, true.
yeah, like all the hard stuff's done already.
Yeah, all the annoying
Oh,
stuff.
the oil pump nut is done on the motor.
Is that a thing?
That's a thing.
You weld them or
Yeah,
something?
dude, I won't safety wire them.
Okay. I feel like I remember that from my
Yeah.
back in the day.
So really good car, just a piece of shit.
Yeah,
you
which
know,
is
like-
perfect. That's
yeah,
what I need.
Yeah.
I don't want a nice car.
Yeah.
It's like if I get a nice one, even if I intend to
Turns
not
into
care.
this anyway.
Yeah, do we need to move this forward? So this car needs a bit of work to be fixed, obviously, but fixed and drivable, they're two different things. They're two different definitions. Our goal is just to get this thing drivable so that we can drive with everyone on this last day. It's a Sunday fun day. Everyone's really heading out after this, everyone that doesn't live here. So this is kind of our last chance to drive and the big push to impulse buy this car. So the main thing we've got to do is fix this radiator. So we got the new radiator swapped in, which we were able to buy from Drift HQ. The coolest thing ever to be able to buy parts, work on them, and then drive the car at the same place. Like, how much better does it get than that? So we found this piece of angle iron lying around and drilled and through bolted it to the core support to give us some sort of core support structure. And then it was time to fill the cooling system and see if we could get this thing to bleed and get it sorted out so then we could go drive it. I mean, that's really all that's left. That's all that was really missing to make this car a functioning driving car. Now, the radiator is going to be pretty exposed, but it's worth the risk. And this weather went from doom and gloom, raining all day, to just beautiful Florida weather. It's probably like 75 maybe. Crispy, sunny. We got a squadron of E36s. I'm almost done with this car. Just got to finish filling coolant. Chelsea put a battery charger on it for me because the battery's dead.
a lot of grip. Like at high angle, this thing, you'll feel it has a lot of grip.
All right, we're just getting this thing bled. It's still warming up. Thermostat hasn't really opened yet. Oh, I think we had some bubbles there. Got a drain pan. Yeah, this thing's pretty sick. It's reasonably quiet. We're gonna have to put some tires on it, but at least we'll get a feel for it. This is the best place to have to work on a car. Shout out to Adam. Just had everything. The radiator, and stock drift HQ, distilled water, bolts. We may have borrowed this piece of angle iron for now. We're gonna replace this, the core support. I'll probably build a little bash bar and then some headlights and the fascia. That's really all it needs. Right now we're running it risky, but it'll be all right. I think so.
I'm gonna move mine out too.
Yeah. I don't know, dude, Chelsea's not taller than me, but he's like, I can barely push the clutch all the way.
Like that's probably the things that I adjusted that seat when I drove it, and it didn't come back. You want to go lock for lock and I'll look at what's coming? The bumper crack. Alright, leave it there, leave it there. It's better now.
Yeah, it sounds better. I need to try to do a lap and just see how it feels. Is it falling off? My bad! I went to transition. Alright, we're going back out. Looks like it might rain here soon, which would kind of be a good thing. Get more laps and not go through tires. We just put a fresh set on. I need to move this seat. Yeah! Okay. I'll wait. I prefer to. Yeah, me too. It's just like you can drive harder, you know? The first car always gets jammed up anyway. Yeah, it's too chaotic. Yeah. so good.
So good. I try to just give like nice, juicy
Same.
leads, and
I try to go as wide as I can.
yeah, it's so tough.
Yeah.
Without the Nico drop being open,
Yeah.
it's like really hard to not choke out the chase driver
Right.
there.
Yeah, I try to make it around the mud even with my
I know,
fronts
it's
and
so
stuff.
brutal. But you have to like almost, the chase car's almost got to be just like behind.
Yeah.
And then when the lead dives in, you just got to jump in next. It's like the only way to do it.
That was so fun.
It's so
I'm used
fun,
to the car
dude.
now.
Yeah, no, you look good and you were smooth in the chase, everything.
Yeah, I'm feeling it now. Like I'm not getting caught up with the transition shit anymore.
You know what you have to do in it now.
Yeah.
No, it's cool. It's so. Dude, we've been doing this
I know.
for a week.
I'm so jealous,
It's
but I'm so glad I'm here now.
Well, now you have it, and like it's the best.
Dude.
I truly can't describe how good it feels to be in a car like this again, driving with other people in cars like this again. This is the most fun thing in drifting, and I'm just going to try to push the absolute limits. We're probably going to wreck some, but we're going to have a lot of fun. Hopefully the car's in one piece when we're all done, but if not, that's okay too.
That first lap lead up on full steering.
Dude, my knees were bruised from the hydro.
What do you mean?
Like I keep hitting my knee on the hydro.
Oh!
Got that bump right there on lock. Every time
It's so fun.
it's so good.
I love trying to time the transitions and just risking it.
To be honest, without the Nico drop, I like it. You gotta keep running.
So fast.
Holy I got choked. I'm so
Yeah.
Dude,
It's,
I entered.
I saw you. I was like, oh shit. So fun.
I think I braced you on the transition.
I felt it. I felt it. I'm still getting used to the steering, but I've got it kind of figured out finally. So fun, dude. I keep checking the tires and I'm like, they're fine. I keep thinking they gotta be done by now. much fun. Sheesh. Got some headlights on the car. Zip tied on there. Got a little muddy. If you're thinking to yourself right now, man, I can't see anything on camera, you can't see anything in real life either. So much fun, dude. So fun. I just stayed in it while you straightened, and like when you got back to angle, I was like, yeah.
Oh, I hate that feeling.
So to end things out, I decided to try to do just a full throttle lap, solo lap. All right, well, we made it back home. I wasn't sure if this thing was gonna make it back home the first night, but we don't have the E36 here yet. Probably gonna put it here on the lifts or leave it on the open trailer. I don't really know. The point of that car is, it doesn't really matter where we leave it. Ideally, maybe long-term we'll leave it at the compound, but first we have some things we need to fix on it. With that kind of car, you don't have to worry that much. It's like, you don't have to worry that much about how you put it together or fix it as long as it's durable. And you definitely don't have to worry when you drive it, which is huge. I haven't had a car like that in a long time that you can just drive at your absolute limit and not be worried at all. And to drive like that for a whole day, especially at the compound, it's such a fun place to drive. It was amazing. It was well worth buying the car just for that, you know, but I'm excited to drive it more with Adam and Sean and everyone else who has E36s at the compound. It's gonna be a good time. So huge shout out to Adam for inviting us out, and huge shout out to Chelsea for selling me his car on the spot. Huge shout out to Drift HQ for being awesome, being right there, having the parts in stock. That was such a cool experience, like one-stop shop. So huge shout out to everyone for that. I really needed that. It was a good time. I had a blast. So we're back home now. We're gonna fix this thing real quick. I just wanted to bring you guys along because this is kind of interesting. So as I said, we were planning on driving this, then the rack decided to say sayonara, so we decided on getting the E36, which I was considering anyway. But we got to put a rack in this. Now I have a rack here. These are an electric rack. The downside is when you put another rack in it, you have to get it coated in. So we're going to have to get that done. But we're going to swap this in anyway. But these racks have a belt. So from my understanding, this belt is what connects the motor to the rack to spin things, which is pretty wild. And it sounds like our belt's been skipping, you know, the teeth are worn off and it's gotten worse. So we're gonna take this one apart when we get it out and just get an idea of what's going on in there. Figured I'd bring you guys along. So I'm gonna quit jibber jabber and get to work tearing this rack out. It's pretty easy to get it out of this car. It's probably the easiest rack removal I've ever done. So let's get to it.
So we decided to start tearing this thing apart, and I may or may not have jinxed myself by saying this is the easiest rack to swap ever, because we run into some serious problems and some serious hangups with this. Now, in theory, it is a very easy rack to swap. There's 2 bolts that hold it in, your electrical connectors, your tie rods, and then the steering joint. There's no fluid to mess with or anything. Everything's very accessible, but this steering joint just did not want to cooperate. The last time we did a rack on another one of these, it was fine. It came right off, but on this car, not happening, not coming off.
All right, well, the steering joint has been fighting us. You can kind of barely see it up there. It's not coming out. It has not even budged. We've tried everything. We've been at it for probably an hour and a half and not made any ground. So another idea I had, maybe we can change it in the car, and lo and behold, you can. So this is the housing, this is the gear on the rack, so you can see this spins up and down the rack. There's a bearing here, there's the housing, so you can see the face of the bearing here. Boom, bearing rides in there. And then you've got the gear on the motor, which spins the belt. You can see our belt right here. You can see that's kind of what they're supposed to look like. You can see all the belt material there. But then if we go around, we've got a completely bare spot where there's no ribs at all. So what we're going to try to do, I mean, I'm surprised this belt has hung in there that long. We're going to try to throw this new belt on it, wherever it is, put it back together, and see if it works. Then we don't have to do any coating either. We'd still like to swap the other rack in at some point, but this will at least get us going for now. That joint is just, it's so on there. So anyway, we're going to try it. We're going to clean this up, re-grease it, and give this a shot. Felt like it, you know?
Yeah, no, it started.
I mean, it's better, but it's like, my question is maybe the way when you put the motor in, that's like a lash adjustment, you know? We could take, probably out of time, but. All right, we put it back on the lift and we adjusted the belt tension. We took it all back apart, looked at everything. Everything looked fine. Basically, there's a pretty good amount of play in these holes where the electric motor bolts on, and you can kind of tension or not tension the belt. So we pulled it, we tensioned it, and now the problem is gone. It is seemingly fixed. We'll have to see when we drift it. We still got to button things back up, but all in all, changing the belt was really a piece of cake. So hopefully that solves our problem, and this one will last for a good while. But yeah, super, super happy to have that sorted out. We also went and picked up the E36 and got this thing back home. So I'm excited to go through this thing, sort it out. It's still going to be a missile, a thrash car, but just get it looking halfway decent, put it on the road so we can kind of enjoy it and mess around driving it. As much as I've wanted another missile car, I've also really wanted another E36 for a long time. So kind of 2 birds, 1 stone with this thing. But That being said, I'm going to wrap it up here. I had an absolute blast driving again. Huge shout out to Adam LZ for inviting us out. Go check out his videos on compound, the upgrades. He's got videos upgrading it, you know, adding the concrete. He's got videos of the E36 stuff. He's got all sorts of videos. So go check those out if you're interested and you want to see more and you haven't already. And that being said, we've got another project to buy. This is a little short, quick thing that we're going to do. But just something to have fun in, to drive, to let all the friends drive. That's kind of the idea here. So I'm going to go ahead and end it here, but I do want to say thank you for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and then I sure hope I'll get to see you next time. Goodbye.